Hi everyone, okay, so today's video is a little bit more serious than I normally would make, but I really want to make this video because it is something that's very important to me. Now, I have received a question a long time ago, it's like August time last year on my Facebook like page. I have responded to it, but I do want to make this into a video because I want to maybe help other people who are in this situation. So, the question was, hey Roland, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like this or how to deal with it, but I really need some advice. I've been seeing a guy for a long time now, but things have started to turn abusive and I don't really know what to do. So, I have been in a situation where I have been in an abusive relationship. Now, it was never physical because trust me, if any man put his hands on me, I'd kill them. I always thought I was a really, really strong person and really mentally strong, but actually, I was still susceptible to be in an emotionally abusive relationship, and it went on for a long time. I started seeing a guy in 2011. It was my first ever kind of real relationship, and I was introduced to him through a mutual friend. We were in like a Skype conversation together, and my friend was like, can I bring this guy into the conversation? And I've seen him on YouTube before because the LGBT community kind of all know each other like within their little groups. So I have like seen this guy before, but I've never actually spoken to him. So he came into the conversation and we're having like a three-way Skype and it was really fun and we got on really well and like everything worked out really perfectly. So we added each other and like just carried on kind of like chatting from there. Nothing serious, it was just like normal sort of, hi, how's your day? How you doing? Like just the small talky stuff. And then the little conversations back and forth between us did turn into an actual like Skype conversation. So we went on video with each other and started talking and stuff and everything was just going really, really well. I felt really good and there was obviously like chemistry between us and it worked out really well. You know, we'd wake up in the morning and text each other and like we had like a rush of who would text each other first thing in the morning and it was like, it's kind of cringe-worthy thinking about it now, but like it was a really, really good start and like it made me feel really good. And again, I'd never been in a relationship before, so I didn't know any of these sort of like flirty kind of like starting movements that would start to a relationship. I didn't know all that stuff. Like it wasn't like we were doing anything online that was like naughty or naughty. Like we were just chatting normally, but like there was clear feelings. So in September, he came and drove down to my house and we like hung out for a week and we made videos together. And it was so fun. And that did sort of like confirm to me that I actually really did like him and I was falling for him quite heavily. And again, I think a lot of that would have been because it was my first relationship. So like you kind of latch on a little bit to your first relationships. So with that being said, we did then officially kind of make it official. So this has been like a few months after we started like originally talking. So then like for the first 6 months, like everything was perfect and it was all really good and everything was going really well. And to me, I was like, this is amazing. You know, I could see myself being with this guy for a long time. And then, like, I don't know really what happened. Something just changed. Something just switched. His view and his way he would talk to me it was like instantly change. It wasn't like a slow progressive thing. It was just instant. And we would Skype and he would just like turn his Skype off and go for no reason, not even saying goodbye. And it was like he was trying to see how much power he had over me. And that's the only way I can really explain it, like, because then I'd be like, what's going on? So I'd text him a few times and be like, what's happening? It was very evident. It was a very power trip. Like he knew that he was powerful in this relationship because I was young. You know, he is a few years older than me. He was like 4 years older than me, I think it was. So like he was already matured in that relationship way. For me, I hadn't got to that stage yet. So it was very evident that he was like controlling the relationship in that way. I would text him and be like, you coming on Skype today? And then he'd be like, no, I'm busy. And I'd be like, okay, what's going on? Like what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And he'd be like, you're stalking me, you're being crazy. And it's like a month ago, you were saying to me every single day, let's Skype, let's Skype, let's Skype. But now I'm doing it, I'm crazy. But when you were doing it, it was fine. And at this point, I loved him. Like I was in love with him. And like it's my first time that I've actually been truly in love with someone. So this went on for a little bit. And me being me, I didn't do anything because I was like, oh, it was my first love. So like I stayed with him and I continued talking to him when I could. But he would just slowly became like more distant, but wouldn't give me any reasons why. It was just all of a sudden, it was like, oh yeah, I'm not talking today, I can't just say, can't do this, oh, can't do this, like maybe I'll come and visit you. And then he'd like say, yeah, he kept saying he was gonna come visit me, and then like the weekend would come and be like, oh, I'm not coming anymore. And it's like, why would you tell me on the day you're coming that you're not coming? And it was little things like that started to make me go, what's going on here? He decided that he wanted to go back to college, which is perfectly fine, you know. In the long run, yeah, obviously it was the right thing to do. And out of the blue, he was just like, yeah, this isn't gonna work, I wanna end it. And for me, it was just so instant when he was like, I'm gonna end it. I was devastated, obviously. I was really, really sad. And what also made me really angry with the whole him breaking up with me at that time is like, I'd already paid for like a train ticket to go see him literally like 2 days later. Like, why? Like, it was just so, why not tell me before I booked my train ticket? Like, it cost me like £100 to go and see him. And I couldn't get that money back because the train service is a bit messed up here. So like, it was like, why do this now if you've been thinking about doing this for ages? Like, why wait? So I came away from the internet. I didn't do anything. I didn't post anything for like a week. I like came away from it, like I was just away, didn't do anything, didn't post anything, nothing. After a week, I was back at home and I was on the internet, sort of like thinking maybe I can come back, I could just do little things. And he started talking to me on Skype because he saw that I came online, and I didn't go online to talk to him. I just went online because obviously I got other friends as well. But we started speaking, and I was like, okay, like, hi, because at this point I was still very sad. Like, I wasn't over him, obviously. And as again, because it was like my first love, like I was still very attached to him, very, very attached to him. So we started chatting, and which was the wrong thing to do. I should not have spoken to him, like I shouldn't do it. So that was my fault. But then again, I was sort of like a lovesick puppy. We started chatting, and then like things escalated when we were talking, and like we started like jacking off on camera to each other, like just over Skype. And because sex to me is quite a connection thing, like I'm demisexual, so I can't just sleep with people. I can't just sleep with people. I have to have some kind of connection with them and actually like have real emotional feelings towards them for me to do anything really sexual at all. So then we started like obviously doing things on camera, which he instigated, I want to make out. Like it wasn't me, he started instigating it. Anyway, so we did that. That sent completely the wrong message in my head. In my head then it was like, oh, maybe he still wants to be with me. Maybe he actually, maybe this was just a little thing that he was going through and he actually wants to be with me. I carried on talking to him, and this went on for like maybe like a week or so. And then I messaged him like after a week later, and I was like, just wondering, like, do you still have feelings for me? Like, is this like a thing? Like, we've been doing stuff, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I just wanted to do it. And like, I don't have any, like, I can't be with you. You know, I'm going to college. I don't want to do this kind of stuff, blah, blah. And it was like, well, why would you mess with me like that? I don't understand why you would do that. But again, I was an idiot, like an absolute idiot. And I was like, oh, okay. And in my head, I was like, oh, maybe there's still a chance, and I wouldn't let it go. And it was like, for God's sake, because obviously this had just happened, I had no time to get over him at all. So I was still very, very much in love with him. And it was annoying. And this went on for a long time, longer than I can really like happily say, because I was an idiot. I was, we were doing things on camera and stuff, and to me, I was still hoping that he would change his mind, but he has already moved on. He was sleeping with other people, he was doing things with other people, and I was just like a little side boy now, which is really, really annoying, especially because I was so much younger. He, as an older person, should have known that this was wrong, but he didn't stop doing it. Like, he knew what he was doing. He knew the power he had over me. I was that lovesick puppy person, and he knew what he was doing. And the annoying thing as well, it wasn't like I was just being a bit crazy. If I ever, after that, had a friend over, he would, because obviously I post things on the internet all the time, I've lived my life on the internet for years. So I would post a picture of me and my friend Matthew, and then he would instantly text me within like 10 minutes. Hi, do you want to Skype? Do you want to hang out? Do you want to do something? And it's like, you clearly know that my friend's here, and like, I'm trying to get my mind off of you, and then you instantly bring me back to you, and then I have these horrible emotions in my head of like, oh, I miss you, I want to be back with you, blah, blah. And it was like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you making me feel so bad? And every time, this isn't me exaggerating, but every time I had a friend over or I did anything somewhere else that wasn't like waiting for him to come online, or wasn't like talking to him, or like wondering what he was doing, he would just like message me or try and communicate with me and make me go back to him, and then have that, oh, no, this is just like online fun, we're not doing anything together. And it was like, it really messed with my head. And 2012 was a horrible year for me, like horrible. Now, it is partially my fault because I should have seen the signs, but I was young and naive, it was my first ever relationship. He just completely manipulated everything I did, and he was my world, and it was awful. It was the first time I ever had like my heart broken. It was the first time I'd ever been in love. It was the first time. And so for me, all these emotions were really new and really sort of like scary to deal with. And I didn't know what to do. And I didn't tell anyone that I was going through this. I kept it all very secret. And then so the thing that made me like flip out and actually go, actually, I don't need you anymore. We went for like a month where we didn't speak to each other, and out of the blue again, he messaged me, and we were just like, let's just chat, blah, blah. And by this point, I had managed to detach myself a little bit because I hadn't spoken to him for about a month. I was out with my friends quite often. This is sort of like November-ish time, I would say, 2012. He started chatting to me, and we were like, hi, blah, blah. And at this point, I still had like soft feelings for him, but like, I think I was like kind of initially over the main sort of like love feeling. And he was like suggested doing like an online collab video between us, and I was like, okay, maybe we could make this work, because like for our channels, well, at least for my channel, because I was a lot bigger than him, I was able to like get quite good like traction through my channel with working with him, because people used to ship us and stuff. Obviously we were together, but people used to ship us and things. And so we're making this video, and I did my part. I don't think he actually filmed his part because it was his idea. I thought he wanted it on his channel, so I said, I'll send you my footage, you can upload the video, blah blah, do what you need to do, because it was his idea. He said, let's do a video on my channel, like that was his thing. And then he was like, oh, why don't you put it on your channel? And I was like, but this was your video. And then he goes, well, you know, I could kind of use a boost in subscribers. And I was just like, what? Like, why are you saying that? Like, no. So I said to him, I hope you're not using me as a subscriber thing now, just because you know you'll get a lot of traction through my channel. And then he literally just went ape shit and started like going, oh my god, I can't believe you would say that, like I can't believe you would do that to me, like how awful, what the kind of person do you think I am, like why would I ever do that? Bitch, you were clearly trying to get my numbers, like that's all you were doing. Like I've worked my ass off to get my numbers. Don't say that and then come for me like that. And then this is when everything happened. Like he came up with everything that happened in the relationship. You know, you were crazy, you were a stalker, you were mad, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, excuse me, bitch, like I wasn't none of those things. You made me do this stuff. You made me come and talk to you whenever I had friends. I went in on him, to be honest. I was like, I told him everything. I said, you used me for this entire year. Like you strung me along thinking that I was going to go back with you, putting all these hints and like telling me to message you and telling me to talk with you, doing all this stuff with me online, like telling me to send you stuff, and like you manipulated me for this entire year. So don't you dare come up to me and say that I'm being an arsehole and I'm being stalkerish. No. If I'm out with my friends, you text me, where are you? Talk to me, I want your attention. As soon as I do it to you, I'm a stalker, but it's okay for you to do it for me. And then you drop all these hints that maybe we could hook up and be back together and like, you know, see each other again and come and visit each other, and then like maybe like make things last. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, you're a stalker, leave me alone, what are you doing? Like you are an asshole. You are nothing but an asshole. After that day, I was just like, you know what? I'm so done with being controlled by someone else. I pushed him out of my life. I got rid of him. So summer 2013, I went back and I watched some of our old videos, and I was watching things that he would do, and I was remembering all the times we were together. And to be honest, there were red flags from the very, very, very start of the relationship. The way that like he would act, it was very condescending. He would always control what I would do. Like if I wanted to do a certain thing on my channel, he would like say, oh, I think you should do it somewhere else. And because I was an idiot and letting him like being besotted a bit, like I would do what he would say, and he knew this all the time. You realize how manipulating someone can be after you're over them, and you could look back at the times and you realize what they're doing. Like the amount of things that he would do and just put me down for something that I wanted to do, which would then make me not do it. If I ever did something that's out of the box or did something that was a little bit crazy or wanted to edit it my way, like for my videos on my channel, he was always like, no, don't do this, and don't do this, and don't do this, and it was like, this is my channel. I remember we were taking photos on his phone, and then when we went to my computer and put his phone on my computer, loads of pictures of him and his ex-boyfriend like making out and shit were on his phone, and it was like, why do you still have these photos on your phone of someone you don't talk to? So like your ex-boyfriend, like little things like that were little red flags that I should have picked up on, but I would just completely look past it. But there were just so many things that he was doing that would belittle me or put me down to make him feel better, or to make him feel like I am the leader of this relationship. Over time, it does get to you, and you get to a stage where we'll stay with the person regardless of how badly they treat you. And like you always see on shows and stuff like talk shows, and people are like, why are you still with him? It's like, because I love him. And it's like, I now know what they mean when they say that. Like I've been in that situation where I'm so for someone because they've belittled me so much, and they've like manipulated things I've done and treated me like that, to a stage where I feel like they almost own me and I have to do what they say. It was very evident that he wanted me to still be in his life to do things with and to help his YouTube, but he didn't want anything more. Like that was all I was to him. I wasn't, you know, and that's the sad thing as well. Like I thought that I meant more to him than I clearly did. Like I thought that my emotions and my feelings were valid for him, and that he actually loved me, which he clearly didn't. Like if he was able to do that kind of stuff to me after we broke up and just expect me just to be okay with it and be like happy, like no, he was tearing me up, like he was ripping me up inside because I was so besotted with him, and I never had any chance to get over him because I was, you know, within a week of us breaking up, I was already Skyping and doing things on the internet with him again. Like there was no real time for me to get over it. He knew that, and he played that to his advantage, and he made sure that he was in control and made sure that he could make me do whatever he wanted. I can't believe I was in a situation like that because I always thought I was a really strong person. We have actually reconnected like after that time, like two-ish years ago when I was just moving to London. We did talk a little bit more. He just messaged me out of the blue, and by this time I'd moved on from everything. I didn't forget, but I'd moved on, so I was very wary when I started talking to him again. We Skyped a few times, and it was okay, it was nice. Nothing like before. I was very, like, seeing him after all these years, I was like, Jesus Christ, what was I doing? We sort of became friends again, you could kind of say, and then he ended up making a video about my best friend lying about him, and I was like, you really are a disgusting human. Goodbye, you lying piece of crap. So I then blocked him again, and I was like, I don't know what I was thinking trying to talk to him again. Like, there was nothing. Like, you're a mess. So if any of you have been in a situation like this, I would love to hear your stories if you don't mind sharing them. So please comment down below some of your experiences you might have had in this kind of situation. I really want to like help obviously this person. I'm not going to say their name for obvious reasons, but I want to help this person more. So if you have had similar situations, please comment down below and let me hear some of yours, and I want to like talk to you and stuff, so that'd be really nice. But anyway, please hit the like button because that's really helped me out. Share with all your friends. My Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff is in the description, so make sure you come follow me in all of them. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you all very soon. A big shout out to Kelly, Stephanie, and Jordan, who are my top 3 Patreons. If you would like to come on Patreon, there's a link at the top as well. You get some cool rewards and help me do this full time. So yeah, bye!